Hello and welcome back. So in the last episode, we were discussing on bit and pixel operations. Today I'm going to discuss on compositing, sampling and aliasing techniques. So first we'll discuss on compositing. So compositing is the process or technique of combining visual elements from separate sources into single images, often to create the illusion that all those elements are parts of the same scene. So combining the visual elements from different separate sources into one single image by making it an illusion that it is the same scene itself. So OpenGL provides a mechanism, that is alpha blending, that can, among other effects, create images with transparent objects. So we are blending alpha with the RGB component, that is RGB color component. So here the objective is to learn to use the A component, that is the alpha component in RGB A color for blending for translucent surfaces and compositing images and anti-aliasing. So opacity, let's see what is opacity and blending. See, opaque surfaces permit no light to pass through, that we have studied in the early classes, right? And transparent surfaces permit all lights to pass. Translucent surfaces pass some light. So that is translucency equal to 1 minus opacity, that is 1 minus alpha. This is how it is being represented, right? So dealing with translucency in a physically correct manner is difficult since the complexity of the internal interactions of light and matter. See, because internal interactions means only some light are to be passed, some are not to be passed, okay? Then using a pipeline renderer, we here use a pipeline, separate pipeline for all those things, right? So when rendering the image through a separate pipeline also, it physically becomes a difficult manner. So we'll see how it is being written. So use a component of RGBA or RGB alpha color to store opacity. During rendering, we can expand our writing model to use RGBA values. Okay, before it will be RGB. Now while writing or while rendering, we'll expand our writing model to RGBA values. Now this is how it is done. We have the source blending factor. We'll be having the source component. We'll blend it with the destination blending factor, that is the RGBA component. And then we will pass it on to the color buffer. Okay. Now blending equation, we can define source and destination blending factors for each RGBA component as S is equal to SR means for red, SG for green, SB for blue, and S for alpha, that is the alpha blending component. That is the source blending factor, and the destination blending factor is written as dr, dg, db, d alpha. Suppose that the source and destination colors are B is equal to BR, BG, BB, B alpha, and C is equal to CR, CG, CB, C alpha. Then blend it as all together. That is C dash is equal to BRSR plus CRDR plus BGSG plus CGDG, BBSB plus CBDB, B alpha S alpha plus E alpha, D alpha. This is how we will blend it according to, and we will store it in the color buffer, that is known as RGBA component. This is compositing, that is making it look like the same scene, but it is from the different source and destination. Now we will look on to what is image compositing. The most straightforward use of alpha blending is to combine and display several images that exist as pixel maps or equivalently as sets of data that have been rendered independently, what we have said earlier. Then blending and compositing in OpenGL is done by GL enable, GL blend, and GL blend function source factor, destination factor. So this can be, so this source factor, destination factor is a combo of either GL0, GL1, then GL SRC alpha, GL1 minus SRC alpha, and GL destination alpha, GL1 minus destination alpha. These are the combinations which are being supported in the GL blend function. Now example, suppose that we start with the opaque background color R0, G0, B0 and alpha blending is 1. This color becomes the initial destination color. We now want to blend in a translucent polygon with color R1, G1, B1, alpha 1. So we will select GL SRC alpha and GL 1 minus SRC alpha as the source and destination blending factors. Okay. So we'll get R1 dash is equal to A1 R1. We'll apply the equations which we have been applied before. Okay, but actually this equation, that this formula is correct if polygon is either opaque or transparent. For translucent, we can apply this. Another thing in compositing is clamping and accuracy. All the components RGBA are clamped and stay in the range 0, 1. It will be between 0, 1. And however, in a typical system, RGBA values are only stored to 8 bits, so that it can easily lose accuracy if we add many components together, because it can only store up to 8 bits. So if we add more components, there won't be accuracy. Now, if we are adding together n images, means divide all color components by n to avoid clamping. Okay, we'll divide it by altogether by n and we'll separate it and blend with source factor equal to 1 and destination factor equal to 1. But division by n loses some bits. Okay, this we always know. That is, while dividing and while separating, some bits will be loosed. Now we have the next topic, that is sampling and aliasing techniques. Aliasing effect is the appearance of jagged edges or jaggies in a rasterized image, an image rendered using pixels. We have already seen that while we were studying Bressenham's line drawing algorithm. The problem of jagged edges technically occurs due to distortion of the image when scan conversion is done with sampling at a low frequency, which is known as undersampling. Aliasing occurs when real-world objects which comprise of smooth continuous curves are rasterized using pixels. Okay. In the line drawing algorithms, we have seen that all rasterized locations do not match with the true line, right? And we have to select the optimum raster locations to represent a straight line. While we always do the problem, we have a problem of not getting the correct exact straight line, right? So this problem is severe in low resolution screens. So in such screens, line appears like a stair step. This effect is known as aliasing, and it is dominant for lines having gentle and sharp slopes. So this is how the aliasing effect looks like. See, we have to form a line through the same. Now the aliasing effect can be reduced by adjusting intensities of the pixels along the line, and the process of adjusting intensities of pixels along the line to minimize the effect of aliasing is called anti-aliasing. The aliasing effect can be minimized by increasing resolution of the raster display. And so by increasing resolution and making it twice the original one, the line passes through twice as many column of pixels and therefore has twice as many jags. But each jag is half as large in x and y direction. That is, we are actually making the frequency twice the original frequency. Here we are changing the frequency. That is known as increasing resolution. So the minimum required frequency is referred to as Nyquist sampling frequency, which is being done as 2 into f maximum. That is, we are doubling the frequency. This is how it is done. And while we double, we can get a smooth single line to draw. Anti-aliasing methods are basically classified as super sampling or post filtering and area sampling or pre-filtering. Super sampling or post filtering means is the process by which aliasing effects in graphics are reduced by increasing the frequency of the sampling grid and then averaging the results down. What we have done now. This process means calculating a virtual image at a higher spatial resolution than the frame store resolution and then averaging down to the final resolution. Actually, it is called a post filtering because it is carried out after sampling. So that it is known as post filtering. And super sampling is basically a 3-stage process. We get a continuous image I of x comma y is sampled at n times the frame resolution. This will be the virtual image. Then it is low pass filtered, that is it is undergone through a low pass frequency filtering. Then the filtered image is sampled at the final frame resolution. Okay. Area sampling or pre-filtering means the method in this method pixel density is determined by calculating the areas of overlap of each pixel with objects to be displayed. So by computing area, since it is done by computing area, it is referred to as area sampling or pre-filtering. It is done before sampling. Okay. Now, OpenGL and anti-aliasing can enable separately for points, lines, or polygons. We can do GL enable GL point smooth, GL enable GL line smooth, and GL enable GL polygon smooth. These are the OpenGL functions for points, lines, and polygons. I hope today's topic was understandable. Thank you so much.